Hello Divine Souls, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Journey of Soul Mastery. I am your host, Rebekah Cortez. If you're new to this channel, the emphasis is empowerment, empowering your states of existence. And the focus of this video is Dark Night of the Soul. Let's get started. The dark night of the soul does not mean that the lighted potential of soul is not ever present, because it is. It's just that the shadows of falseness within ego states are being escalated to the forefront for the sake of creating opportunity for you to face all of the false core beliefs, all of the unauthentic aspects of adopted truth, the ego-driven perspectives regarding self and the world. The darkness serves the light through opportunity of opposition, and the dark night of the soul encompasses the process of transformation through your free will and willingness of heart to shed old patterns and to end old dysfunctional cycles that are destructive, to transcend all that represses your lighted potential of soul, to end the internal turmoil, pain, and suffering. Part of the awakening process is so you shed light on all that has cast a shadow on your authentic self. It is a process of unlearning what you have learned that does not allow your light to illuminate and burn as bright as the sun. And then you must choose at different stages of your transformation journey to shed and purge the unwanted to make room for the wanted. And the dark night of the soul harnesses the essence of that process. It is a death and rebirth process of your transformation journey. The concept of dying to ego is misunderstood, as if to state that ego suddenly gets cut out and no longer exists. But this simply just is not truth, but rather represents a dying to old programming, negative conditioning, imprinting that you've been subjected to that played a role in the development of the false core beliefs you house in your unconscious states. This process should not be feared, avoided, or resisted, but embraced with gratitude for what this phase in your expansion journey represents. It should be perceived as a substantial opportunity to purge all that is in opposition of your authentic divine nature and truth, as you embodied that truth when you were first born to this world, before you were subjected to the lower dimensional influences that shadowed your divinity. It's a significant opportunity to transmute and transcend all that your elevation of spiritual awakening invokes, to pave the way of embodying the universal truth of your divine soul, nature, and release attachments within the layers upon layers of falseness you have adopted as core beliefs over the course of your life, that are shadowing and stifling your potential to be the highest and best version of self. This phase of your transformation is intense, but it is only as turbulent as you create this process to be according to your resistance or your willingness to embrace the transcendence process. The longer you remain resistant to releasing and detaching from all you're becoming consciously aware of, and that you acknowledge exists within ego states that shadows your highest potential, the more the storms of opposition will be prevalent in your reality. The awakening process is indeed a powerful journey of self-realization, but to calm the storms of opposition, you must embark and embrace the process of journeying through the dark night of the soul. It is a process of deepening your connection to your light, and the only way to do that is through facing all the shadows, facing all the falseness, and facing your inner darkness, so that you can transmute and transcend that which is shadowing your ability to deepen the connection to your light. As you elevate your conscious states of awareness on the expansive path of enlightenment, you connect to your oversoul, your higher self, which represents your authentic divinity. And you start consciously transitioning through the stages of transformation, through accepting, acknowledging, embracing, and embodying the understanding of your authentic divine nature. And through this elevated remembering of higher knowingness of universal truth, you start to recognize lower vibrational potential within ego states that you have been operating from the majority of your life, until your desire to end the suffering becomes so deep-seated that you commit to the process of transformation. And in this choice of willingness, the veil of falseness is revealed, and you can no longer hide in the illusion of ignorance. And the dark night of the soul represents the stage that you are elevating into a conscious process of releasing and letting go of all that is not serving your lighted divine potentiality. The more you participate in lower vibrational behaviors that perpetuate karmic patterns, lower vibrational conditioning that stimulates falseness, the longer you will suffer in the turbulence of opposition until you choose to elevate your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual platform to reflect your divinity and choose love and anchor love as the platform that you operate from on every level of expression, first internally and then extended externally. When you embark on this internal journey, you will begin to recall to memory experiences that reveal the shadows and dark nature of your ego. This is the part of the process that can seem very turbulent, as stated earlier. In your willingness to find the value and strength in the lower vibrational experiences you are facing in this process of confronting the opposition, you connect with the healing and transformative energies of gratitude and forgiveness. You elevate your understanding of what is happening to realize the value that all experiences serve in your journey of self-mastery. In facing your darkness, you can elevate to a higher level of appreciation of your light and see the beauty and wonderment in this expansive journey through the University of Life. Through the willingness of your incarnation to participate in the collective human experience, you participate in the role of both teacher and student. You must embrace the path of the wise student before you can embrace the role as the wise teacher and elevate into higher service to self and others in your journey through transcendence. The dynamic duality of teacher-student is ever present in states of reality and simultaneously happening all the time. Some experiences and encounters reveal and stimulate opportunity to perpetuate the darkest potential within your internal ego nature, while other experiences and encounters reveal and stimulate opportunity to synchronize with the lighted potential within your internal soul nature. Your realities are driven through your choices. Your external quantifiable reality reflects the internal suffering of ego, or it reflects your internal divinity of soul. It is all within your control to determine which dimensional realities you experience, and your choices are the action that wields the energy your internal focus stimulates and initiates the co-creation of external existence. The more you hide from all that you fear to face, the more you will co-create realities that allow you opportunity through your external experiences and encounters to transform and transcend the shadows that represent the false core beliefs that are opposing your authentic truth, your divine essence. Memories will surface, and these represent what you're still harboring deep within the layers of falseness that drive your ego nature to operate in states of constant reactivity that stems from ignorant states of falseness and fear. As uncomfortable as it may immediately appear, it is offering the greatest opportunity to face and transmute pain into peace, deep wounds of suffering into healing. It will stimulate emotions so you can understand that your negative emotions do not define you, but assist in shaping you into the best version of self. If you pull from the divine courage to surrender to the purging, to connect to the healing on the other side of the turbulent process. For each courageous individual that embarks upon the conscious path of transcendence and embodies this process, they are also contributing to the collective ascension process to step into the leadership of being the way showers for those still suffering and lost in ego states of pain and turmoil. As we as individuals ascend through the transformation of shedding the old programming, healing karmic patterns, and elevating states of consciousness, this on an energetic level anchors more universal light, more cosmic love into the planet to shift darkness into light, to make way for more divine potential to reach the hearts, to be authentically embodied and expressed in limitless ways. And this paves the way for change on a global and collective level to happen. Never doubt how critically important you are as an individual. Never question the meaning and purpose of your individual existence and the significance it holds for the collective. Change does not happen externally until it is embodied internally by every soul participating in this dynamic collective human experience. the more you stop resisting internal transformation, the more you transcend dark potential that seeks its own agenda to keep you small, to keep you thinking that you are not important or significant enough to change the world and end the suffering for yourself and for all. The more you transform, the more you transcend darkness that seeks to stifle your remembering of your divinity of beingness, the more you transcend ego-driven programming and break free and liberate yourself and return to the wholeness states of integration with soul, ignorance is peeled away, and what is left before you is understanding. Understanding that reveals the grander picture of the collective process you volunteered to be part of, and you connect deeply to the quantifiably boundless potential and ascend into higher states of consciousness that synchronizes and resonates with the living organism of universal consciousness. Where elevated understanding exists, there will be change that is invoked on an unmeasurable scale of possibility, and each singular individual plays a significant role in the magnitude of global change to promote elevation of the divine collective potential of ascension. Every one of us that willingly embodies this expansive journey will return to the remembering of their heart path and reclaim heartfelt passions that allow meaning and purpose to be authentically expressed in ways that only your unique frequency of light can extend. When you open and allow more universal light to flow through, you open to receive universal inspiration, and you'll be shown and you will be inspired to recognize all the ways in which your expertise is required, and in all ways that it can be in higher service to up-level the entirety of current systems and structures to reflect the potential of light and end the dark oppressive states of this global collective existence. We are all unique because there is so much that requires up-leveling on this planet. Everything that is ego-driven must be elevated to reflect soul and divinity. This leaves a lot of room open for each of us to be in higher service and to exercise our talents, abilities, creativity, and passions to restructure this world and reshape the collective experience for all life. And this dynamic shift is sparked through your willingness to participate and stop fighting your darkness and embrace the opportunity to transcend, to maximize your lighted potential. And the dark night of the soul assists us through this process. Change is not always perceived as positive. This statement applies not only to those going through this process that are resisting letting go of old familiarity of ego self, but also those that are immediately in your inner circles. As your light shines brighter, there will be potential for those currently in your life that will not embrace this paradigm shift within you. And you will be presented with other opportunities to transition through the dark opposition of internal influences, to transcend old patterns, karmic cycles, dark programming of conformity and compliance. This too is opportunity for you to choose willingly to embody the elevated individual you are transforming into that transcends ego. It is often rejected by those that are still deep in ego states because they struggle to relate to you and connect to the elevation of your light that they feel energetically, regardless if they consciously are aware of this truth or not. Energetically, we all feel. Some people will just start to transition out of your life, while others may seek to pull you down into old patterns that they're more comfortable being around. This too is opportunity for you to reinforce your commitment to self and the path of transcendence by remaining true and authentic, even if it means standing alone. Standing alone is not a negative aspect. Only ego perceives the concept of standing alone as if it means you are utterly alone and have no belonging in this world. But this is just false. It means that you are elevating into higher states of consciousness that are no longer willing to compromise the authenticity of self to the point that you embody a level of self-acceptance that is unwavering in your ability to stand alone in your authentic truth and not compromise your platform of self-love, self-worth, self-respect, just to fit in and be accepted by others who are choosing to remain imprisoned in their own ignorant states of ego, falseness. If you cannot be genuine and stand by your own side and your own elevated truth that resonates within the frequencies of universal truth, and you choose to compromise and lower your standards to fit into the model of the ego-driven world, then you will never elevate out of the dark night of the soul process until you do choose your light and authentic expression over and above that of a third dimensional structure of your external dynamics. You must choose to elevate every aspect of your life internally to resonate with the paradigm shift of energetic magnitude. You must choose to elevate the way you think, feel, act, communicate, express yourself in every aspect. What once suited your ego will not be as appealing and will become less motivating to you the more that you elevate. This is a mass scale process that affects every aspect of self, internally and externally, so that you get to the point that there is no conflict or opposition to what you embody internally and reflect and live externally. It is unification and alignment of light potential in all manner of expression. It is a process of aligning all of yourself to be working in unison and not in conflict. Change will be inevitable as you transform and transcend if you seek to honor all the work that you are actively dedicating to pursuing to overcome the old that creates suffering and elevate into love in all lighted states that honor and encourage an empowered existence. Adjustments are always necessary along your journey of self-mastery to honor your efforts in this expansive process of shedding falseness and embracing the truth that you are the individual divine spark of light that forms the living organism of universal consciousness. There is truly no conceivable separation in existence between the aspect of self that is experiencing physicality as human to what you acknowledge as soul. Nor is there any separation between soul and universal frequencies of source consciousness. We are all one. We are all united. We are all working in unison together in all multiverses of multidimensionality, divine potential. Your existence and willingness to undergo this dynamic process of transformation and transcendence opens the universal channel of expansive light to be anchored globally as you individually elevate your own internal light. This is the significance in the process and value of the dark night of the soul. The only answer is and always will be love. Not just any love, but self-love. A love so deep that it sparks the desire that builds the lighted foundation of unfailing, unwavering, unyielding, uncompromising self-acceptance that is embodied so deep within your core that no darkness, no negative interference, conditioned and imprinted negative programming can penetrate the shield of unconditional self-love. We are all diamonds in the rough, and when we break through the falseness of ego, we start to allow that light of self-realization to shine through and break down the constructs of falseness that we have been living according to, and we begin to see the falseness through the light because of our deep-seated desire to see the illusions and lies of falseness for what they really are, which is just a reflection of one side of our potential, but it isn't the whole truth of our potential as a whole. Self-love, self-worth, self-acceptance is the internal line that connects you to the possibility of transformation. Transformation is the internal shift of attitude that formulate your perceptions, and your perceptions formulate your internal belief systems, and your internal belief systems sets the quality of your focus and actions through life. This is a principle that can be applied to absolutely all realities you experience, but it is through the initial revelation of self-actualization that is required to transcend ego states, shadowed potential, opposition into strength, falseness into authenticity, negative into positive, darkness into light. As you desire to elevate and transform your internal world, you lay the path to shift your external realities of what you tangibly experience based on your internal focus, which births the external reflection of the realm of reality you will experience that best mirrors your internal realm of existence. And the dark night of the soul is a process that is absolutely your ally in bringing your unawareness to the forefront of actualization, so you can choose to shift internal ignorance that keeps you imprisoned in states of denial to achieve transmutation and transcendence and return to the wanted, return to the authentic truth, return to the wholeness, return to the realization of your divine magnitude. You are shifting the internal focus so that ego doesn't operate your internal realm of existence, so you can quiet the loudness within the conflict of your mind and shift your energetic frequency to synchronize with that of your soul, to hear the song of your soul, which is heard and experienced through your higher divine senses and abilities and projected through your intuitive pathways. In the end, you must choose to surrender the agenda of your ego to the will of your soul, to allow yourself the right to embody and live your birthright, to experience realities of lighted potentiality and empowered states that reflect divine truth and authentic expression of yourself. The more you turn up your light internally, the more you will deflect darkness from penetrating your external reality of existence. This is just simple quantum mechanics. If you engage a dimmer switch on a light system, you can see that when you dim the light more, shadows are created in the environment, and eventually, if you dim the light too low, darkness will consume the environment. If you slowly turn up the light to its highest capacity, you can slowly start to see the metamorphosis of transmutation being created with every click of the dial to illuminate more light in, to the point that the shadows and eventually all darkness cannot be present in the environment anymore. This is a simple metaphor, but it is so relevant to the principle that you control your internal environment so that what is reflected externally is a reality absent of anything opposing your light, until you choose of your own free will to dim your light by falling into dark programming of falseness again. You are the mechanism that controls the essence of light and dark in your internal environment. The dark night of the soul is sort of a test run and a trial basis of learning how to choose to turn up your light and gain the opportunity to see the value and positive results in the metamorphosis process when you willingly choose to commit to turning up your light and elevating all that is required to shine your light on the internal shadows of suffering that cause pain, and shift your internal focus on self-love and self-acceptance and the magnitude that emanates in your external world. When you choose to turn up your light, you are choosing to stop feeding into lower vibrational behaviors that perpetuate lower vibrational reactivity that dims your internal light, so that you stabilize and center and balance your internal states of existence, so that your external states of existence will be less turbulent. And you'll start to stop pulling to you as much opposition, because you're shifting your focus to resonate within the spectrum of light and love, which elevates every way you maneuver through your life and the choices that you make. You cannot fight negative with negative. You must choose to elevate the light and choose the enlightened path of transcending all that seeks to shadow your light. And the more that you anchor self-love and anchor into the stability of self-acceptance that is unwavering, you will be less tolerant of any shadows anything casting a shadow on your light. Thank you so much for listening. I hope the information in this video helped to elevate your understanding of the dark night of the soul process. And if it did, please show your support by subscribing to this channel, liking the video, clicking the bell to receive future notifications on upcoming videos, and by all means, share this information with someone you feel can benefit from it. Bye for now.